But the one really cool thing about the trip was that it was just the timing. Like, we did get to see a lot of people. During the trip, we did get to see a lot of people, and it was really cool that we were able to integrate visiting all these local breweries and stuff in there. So that was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but we'll definitely talk about that in this episode. So welcome to the Atomic Beer Show. And I'm Josh.
I'm Don.
And we're here to talk about beer.
Lots of beer.
So I just got back from a trip, and we went to a lot of breweries, but I'm going to focus specifically on the Seattle area to start off with, because I have a lot to talk about.
I bet you do. I'm anxious to hear about it. I was so envious. I went online and started looking at breweries in the Seattle area, and I'm like, maybe it's time for another trip up to Seattle. The wife and I did it a couple of years ago. We took the train from L.A. to Portland and then into Seattle. So it's definitely someplace that I'd like to go back to.
Now, what was great about it was the first couple times, because we go up there once a year, and it's to see friends. It's not a big brewery run, but each time we go, I'm discovering more and more of what's there. I used to rely on the folks that lived there on where to go or what beer to buy at the store. I want to get stuff that I can't necessarily get here in Southern California, which is kind of tough to not find something unless it's on the East Coast and you got to do your trades and whatnot to get that beer. But it is a cool thing to see. Seattle's a big city. There's a big community in the craft beer industry, and it was really neat to get to visit some of these smaller, bigger, just a variation. I think I was able to get to 4 of them on this trip that I'll talk about briefly. And there's a couple I can bring up that I went to last year too, but I don't have a lot of notes on those. But I can definitely give a shout out. And I know you got a nice list for us. You're going to go over here shortly too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go over at least the breweries I visited, and then we'll get into the list of what we got. So sit back and relax, because we're going to get into this Seattle brewery crawl. I guess you're just going to go along with me. I guess in this. And we got a couple of beer shares too. I did bring some stuff back.
Sweet.
So I'm excited to try those. If we can't finish the whole bottle, I might have to take a nap before I go home. But but we do. I do want to say, please be responsible in drinking. And all that. We don't condone underage drinking and all that stuff. And I'm starting to get a little people saying, "Oh, you do that podcast about beer?" I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, you understand the art of the craft and everything else, so." And the breweries and the people behind it and the industry in it. Yeah, there's a difference between going to a bar and going to a brewery. And, I may have talked in the past episodes about that, what the difference is between the two. Because some people don't think kids should be allowed in a brewery, but I don't let kids into a bar. There's 2 different things.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get into that, because I know that'll be a whole episode. I could talk about that.
Exactly.
We could probably get the phone hooked up, get some call-ins. I can't believe Never mind. Let's not get started. All right. So anyway, let's get started, because we landed in Seattle kind of early in the morning.
Okay.
It's about 10, 11 o'clock. We got in. By the time we got our bags and everything, we had some time to kill, because we were actually meeting a family member for lunch. We were going to get some Korean barbecue in a spot that close to where he works. So we had a little bit of time to kill. We're like, well, what are you going to do? I popped out my trusty phone, got on the Untapped app. Like, let me find a brewery close by. So I think I have like 3 apps I follow now that have breweries in the area, how far away they are, if they're open, this and that. And the first thing that popped up was Odin Brewing, which is out of it's close to Seattle in a town called Tukwila. I really hope I said that correctly. But I did find that on the app, and I went and stopped in. And I want to say I'm very happy that we did. It's just a little smaller place. It's close to the giant Tukwila Mall that's right there. Not too far from Seattle Tacoma, so it's SeaTac Airport.
Okay.
Not too far from there. Not a huge place. Definitely more of the spaces for the brewery. The tasting room, tables, chairs, a little older, little rundown looking. But let me tell you, I just did a flight of the beers and was not upset with what I got. It's hard for me to get upset sitting in a brewery anyway.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Yeah, so I didn't write a lot about that because I wasn't really ready to start taking notes or anything. But during the tasting, I did notice they had a holiday pack of their winter oak aged series, and so I was like, you know what, $20 for a winter pack. Let me just, or a holiday pack. Sorry, let me just get that. So I got 2 bottles of the Thor's Reserve. Get it, Odin Thor.
Okay,
it's the Thor's Reserved oak aged winter ale, which is an imperial stout. I believe it comes in at 10.2%, and I brought the 2019 version.
Oh, nice,
for a beer share today.
Perfect.
I already drank the 2018 version.
How was it?
It was good. I just shouldn't have drank it when I did because I've already went to like 3 or 4 breweries that day, and somehow I don't know why I drank a glass of wine and decided why not. I was more worried because when you go on a trip, and this is like the thing, is like you want to bring stuff back, but you also don't want to go over your weight limit on your suitcase.
I know, it's so hard too
because it's like it's going to cost more than the cost of the beer at some point. So I'm like, oh man, another $100? No. So I got a little worried that if I brought too much back, I wasn't going to be able to bring it all back. And I drank most of it, at least tried to. Because we were in Seattle, we still had to fly to Michigan and then go into Ohio and all this stuff. So I didn't want to like lug this around, but I did make sure I got one of the 2. So I drank the other one, and it was good from what I remember. But that was the 2018 version. So the 2019, I did bring with us, and we can beer share that.
Sweet.
Yeah, when we get to that.
Perfect.
So I do have some notes on that one actually. It's a 10.5% ABV at 20 IBUs. It's considered an intensely dark 10.5% imperial stout. It's aged in the finest oak barrels, adding naturally sweet and tart flavors to this already complex ale. So some things other notes I found was it's actually a rich and creamy stout. And it holds up surprisingly light body and a smooth finish for an enjoyable experience from the first sip to the last. Thor's Reserve Oak Aged Imperial Stout is an ale that demands your deference and adoration. That's from their website. So
nice.
So shout out to Odin Brewing in Tukwila, Washington. I thought it was a great place to stop. I'm really happy I did. It was just kind of like, hey, I need to kill some time. And why not stop at a brewery if you've got time to kill?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, so I had my son and my wife with me, so thankfully they also had food there, so that was cool. So I got them some pretzels. So yeah, so when...
Were they Dots pretzels?
They were not Dots pretzels.
Oh,
no,
man.
These were soft bar-type pretzels, but definitely not Dots. So, yeah, shout out to Dots Pretzels. If you've not had Dots Pretzels yet, I've only found one person that didn't like Dots Pretzels, and when we invite him to the podcast, we're going to call him out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you kick him right in the nuts?
No.
Shout out from our last episode.
Yep. Yep. All right, so rest of the day, later on that day, we did go do a couple more brewery hopping. I'm like, well, what do you want to do for dinner? I'm like, so we went to... we looked up online. I was looking up the closest breweries, and then the next thing you look at is food trucks, right? Who's got the food trucks, and what are you hungry for, right? Like some of the best food trucks around here are usually parked up at breweries now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, and we're in Southern California, so we got a lot of great food trucks. I mean, just the lobster roll one. You got the Kogi trucks,
grilled cheese truck.
Oh man, there's the Brewing Wings. There's Canteen.
I haven't had Brewing Wings yet.
No, oh man.
What do they have?
Brew
and wings.
Yeah, but there's so many great trucks. So we went based off the food truck to the. Well, I just kind of said, hey, they got a food truck. We can go here. So that's what we decided to do. So we went to Chainline Brewing, which is in Kirkland, Washington. Again, just kind of a suburb of Seattle. And Chainline Brewing was founded in 2014 with the singular goal of creating the highest quality ales and lagers for the discerning craft beer drinker. That's what it says.
Sweet.
It's located in Kirkland, Washington.
Home of Costco?
It is.
I went to the Costco in Kirkland.
That's right. It is. It is home of Costco. This was the first brewery to be opened near the Kirkland Crossroad Corridor. Kirkland Corridor Trail. It's the heart and soul of any brewery. It is the brew house, and Chainline is no exception. So Their motto here is power your passion. The Chainline team is passionate not only about beer but the outdoor active lifestyle. That was really cool because it made the ambiance in the place really cool. Really, really. If you're an outdoorsy person,
Okay.
you really feel like welcomed,
Okay.
and warm, and like it was like that.
Kind of like 10 Mile.
Yeah, yeah. It had that feel. It wasn't a huge place. You kind of had to walk in, and I already did it. I already hit it. When you walk in, you kind of walk past all the brewery area.
Okay.
And then the back was the tap room.
Oh, nice.
So
a little different than what we're used to, where you walk in, it's tap room and then
yeah,
brewery in the back.
right. So you kind of walk through it, and what was neat too is when you walked in along the all the different fermenters that were up. There was like a bar. You can just sit there and just stare at them if you wanted to. Nobody's sitting there because everybody's in the back. I think they had like a running day or a walk your dog day over there. So everybody's just left over from drinking. And we were there because Nacho Mama Seattle was there with their taco truck. And shout out to Nacho Mama Seattle for all of you following the Beer Ranger. I gave a shout out to the Beer Ranger on Instagram, and they just followed me right away. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's nice. You enjoy doing it. I enjoy that when people just. They may or may not care what you actually post, but it's all good. So, I did have the bourbon barrel-aged dark lager there. It's an imperial bourbon. It's an imperial bourbon. Yes, it is. It sure is. It was delicious. Yes, so it was actually an award-winning, I believe you pronounce it Cernay dark lager. It was roasted chocolate sweetness. It was really good, and it actually went well with my nachos. I had the barbecue buffalo chicken nachos.
Oh, nice.
Oh no, I had the cheeseburger nachos.
Cheeseburger's not. It was on that just meat, like hamburger meat, and
it was like everything you put on a cheeseburger, but it was on nachos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
was it like the runny cheese, or was it actually like grated that they melted?
No, it was. Oh man, that's a good question. I think it was the runny cheese.
Nice.
Yeah, it was the runny cheese.
Like when I do nachos, that's what I want. I want the runny cheese.
Yeah, because I could do the shredded cheese stuff at home.
Yeah.
That's usually how I do my nachos. I'm a nacho freak.
Yeah.
I love nachos. But I had to cut back a little bit on them. But so they definitely had the cheeseburger nacho, and then my wife's friend got the buffalo chicken. So I had to try that too. And they were really big on the for the desserts. They had the those little they're like brownies, but it's like a cookie brownie.
Okay.
And it had like the peanut butter. So it was like I'm making myself hungry talking about this.
I know.
But it had like the
I could probably go inside. We still have stuff left over from Christmas. I got some great peanut butter balls in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, let's go back to story. Sorry.
Yeah, you're holding. Yeah.
I know. I always do that.
That'll be off. All right. Okay. So I had
tangent time.
So I did have the bourbon barrel aged dark lager. After that, I'm like, well, I got to try something else while I'm here. Should have done a flight. Whatever. This is how my night went anyway. So I got the Turn Up Juicy IPA, which is a 6.3% ABV. It's inspired by Vermont style IPA. I guess there's a difference when you say New England IPA. If it's Vermont, it's more specific. I think cheese. I think Vermont. But anyway, it was a hazy golden appearance, and it had more hop flavor than you thought possible. This is what they say on the website.
Okay.
So citrus and melon dominate the surprisingly smooth and easy drinking beer. It was very smooth. It was very easy. It was very tasty. I didn't, out of the two beers I had there, I did have a sip of the other ones. I didn't have a bad beer there. I didn't have anything that like totally knocked my socks off, but ambiance, the staff was great. The beers were good. Nacho Mama Seattle was there. I had a great time at Chainline Brewing. It was awesome. So,
nice.
So that was the second brewery that day. Third brewery that day was like, well, we should go home. And I'm like, and I pulled out the app again. I was like, well, there's another brewery not too far from here. And everybody agreed, let's go. So we stayed in Kirkland, Washington. And I don't know, are you ready for a beer share?
We could do a beer share if you're ready.
Let's go ahead and let's get that set up. Oh yeah. So we got the Thor's Reserve from Odin's Brewing. It's the oak aged imperial stout. And
it's a beautiful bottle.
Yeah, it's a really cool bottle. It's got the wax top, kind of like I think the last
Sadie?
one we have was Sadie. It's got so you had it's not hard to open or anything, but
as long as it's not hard to drink.
Well, that's pretty smooth.
Oh, that sounded good.
Yeah. If you look at it, kind of got
It
like
smells good.
and I don't know if it's like the lighting, but it's kind of like a red tint to it. I don't know.
I see the red tint.
Yeah. So this is, I guess this is their holiday-ish ale. I got you a sticker from here, didn't I?
I think so.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So
Thor's Reserve.
this is the Thor's Reserved Oak Aged Imperial Stout.
I like the hammers on the side.
Oh yeah, I just noticed there's hammers. Yeah, it's a pretty cool label and stuff. You could definitely. I did check it in on Untappd, so you can check out JW Beer Ranger or Ranger Station. I don't know what I had for that.
Well, here we go. Beer share number 1, Thor's Reserve.
Beer share number 1. I can't forget to do that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Very sweet.
yeah. I get a lot of
Nice little aftertaste at the
I
end.
get smoky. You
Yeah,
get smoky?
a little smoky later.
Yeah,
Sweet at the beginning, smoky later.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good work there, Odin Brewing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Good job on the Reserve series. Glad I picked this one up, and glad you had a holiday pack that I could grab it. Oh, did I tell you it came with the pint glass?
No.
Yeah, so I left the pint glass at my wife's friend's house. Well, I guess she's my friend too, but I just was afraid to travel with it, so she had a new beer glass.
That's nice.
Yeah,
My brother, whenever we go wine tasting, he always seems to manage to get a wine glass into the bag that he's bought wine from. I'm like, really? You need to steal?
klepto.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, watch out for those kleptos. Especially, anyway. All right, so that's Thor's Reserve.
That's nice.
You want some more?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm probably good with that.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because whatever we don't drink, we can cork that stuff.
Yeah, or we can come back to it.
Yeah, I was actually, because one of the things, when I saw this first thing, I thought I wonder how this would be if I aged it. Now, there's a lot of stuff online about aging beers. I don't know if you ever thought about doing
No,
that.
yeah. I forget what it was that they said to age in my investigating.
Well, there was an article recently with the head brewer at Founders Brewing that said when you drink it now, you shouldn't age it, because when the brewery releases a beer, that's the beer they intend for you to drink. And my thought is, well, wouldn't they say buy 2 if you want to try it? This is how we want it, but if you want to see how it is in a year, then do a vertical tasting. That's what
yeah.
So that I think that was what was really cool with the Thor's Reserve holiday pack, is that they held back some from 2018 so they could sell that with this, so you can see what last year's and this year's tasted like.
How does it compare?
Well, when I had it probably wasn't the best time I should have had it.
Oh, okay.
I was being I was having a lot of fun that day. It was fun I hadn't had.
You were
in a
pretty
while.
liberal with the drinking that day?
I wasn't driving, just to say, but it was definitely it was very similar, but this is a lot smoother, I think, and I think it did age well over the year. So I don't know what beers you would age longer than a year or two, or I'm sure there's a lot of things out there, and it is kind of hard to find the information on there online.
It'll be interesting to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, something that's actually aged a beer like 10 plus years, and if it's still good and drinkable. I mean, I have stuff right now I don't have in the fridge that I'm saving because I just don't want to load it in the fridge because I'm afraid I'll just drink it all and it'll be gone. Like my CBS, and I have some Boulevard Tank 7 Saison. That's good. Actually says on there, I think we're getting an airplane.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah. So yeah, fly over.
As my wife would say, Red Dawn, Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. So yeah. But yeah, so this is one that I got to do a vertical tasting on, I guess now, but it was kind of a month ago earlier this month when I got to try the first one, 2018. So that was that. That was the first beer share. So
nice.
I'll just move along, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll sit here and drink while you talk.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Well, the next one I went to was Malestrom Brewing in Kirkland, Washington. This is a smaller brewery, a little newer. The head brewer's name is Scott. Couldn't find his last name anywhere. And when I was in there and I was asking questions about some of the beers, the lady that was working the taps, there was only one person there. It wasn't very busy at all. There was like one guy in there on his laptop, like with the headphones on, just not paying attention to the world. And then there was this other 2 guys that were just like staring at their beers. And then later, this lady with dogs that came in that were yapping and whatever. And then it was us with mice on, just wanting to run around and play on the video games that were free play. So That's how it was. It wasn't a very big place. Kind of neat. I like the theme of the Maelstrom because it was like kind of, like on Pirates of the Caribbean, the Kraken.
Okay.
With the tentacles and all, like a giant squid.
Yeah.
Except the head was a hop.
Okay, yeah.
So
okay.
that suckered me into buying a T-shirt. So
nice.
I did get a Malestrom Brewing T-shirt. I was like, yeah. And after I was already how many beers deep from Chainline, and earlier that day I was like, I'll just buy it.
I love getting shirts.
I do too, especially from like the
so
random
great.
breweries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I did one from when I was in Florida in August, Bog Brewing.
Yeah.
And basically the way that it is it's a mug, and then there's foam coming off the mug, but the foam is actually Florida. So it was kind of cool.
That is pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that. And I was like, oh man, I got to get that. I think I got a sticker for that one for you too, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I need to go through them.
Yeah, I just kind of gave them to you. Here, I got to do these for you.
I did look at the Christmas card though.
Oh, okay. You did get that.
It's on the
Good.
wall.
Yay. Scott, the head brewer, and this is from their website that I could find. I couldn't find them on Instagram. I don't know if they are or aren't. So if you're looking for them on Instagram, I don't know if they're there. Scott developed an appreciation for craft beer and shiny metal objects while studying mechanical engineering at the University of Washington. So he's a Husky. My wife's a Husky, so that's all good. Go Huskies. So at some point in time, he inherited a starter homebrew kit. Homebrew? Did I say homebrew?
Homebrew.
Homebrew.
Yeah.
So we got a homebrew
Just
kit.
sweep that one away,
Yes,
okay?
I'll sweep it right away.
Just sweep that one away. We'll start over.
Oh, man. Thor's Reserve. Okay, so he started a homebrew kit. He got one. There you go. And over the next 19 years, simple extraction brewing gradually evolved batch by batch into an all-grain nano brewery. With no room left in the garage, the car was forced to sleep outside. When even that wasn't enough, Scott attended brewers training at the American Brewers Guild and started down the road of opening a craft brewery in Kirkland.
Nice.
So this is one of your what the reason I wanted to talk about that after I read that, and that's straight from the Malestrom Brewery's website, was that's another example of someone that such a strong passion for beer.
Yep.
Good beer. There was good beer there, and I had another two. I shouldn't have had the second one, but the two when I was there. That should have been my limit that day. That's a good example of someone that the passion of the beer and the craft developed into a business. And now this, I don't know what else, if that's his only thing he does, or if he has a second job to supply that, or even if he's super successful. I don't know. But the whole idea, and the whole idea behind the craft beer community is the passion for the beer and to do something like that. And he has a cool theme. Malestrom Brewing. I mean, I just think of I think of metal bands, first of all.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And Vikings and all this stuff. So between Malestrom and Odin, I think there's a theme that day. But yeah. So anyway, I had the Elixir of Amnesia, which is just should have told me that was the end of it. I should have been done after this one. The Elixir of Amnesia Imperial IPA, which is a piney, dank, and grapefruit hop aroma from late additions of Simcoe and Cascade hops. It was an 8.1% ABV with 79 IBU. So it was not terribly hoppy, and it was a little high on the ABV factor that time of night. But hey, I was pretty happy with that. So I was waiting on my wife's friend to finish her beer. I totally forgot what she probably got, like the blonde ale, something that they had. And at that point, I got the Saison, which is pronounced the Ete Saison. I hope I said that right. It was a Belgian-style farmhouse ale originating in the French-speaking area of Wallonia. So, not to get too
technical,
but the Saison was fermented with very warm and very special yeast, which creates its fruity and peppery profile, slightly earthy finish, 5.8% ABV at 20 IBU. So not hoppy at all. 5.8% ABV on this is a little higher than a sessionable beer, slightly higher than a sessionable beer. But that Saison was, and I'm trying to leaning towards more farmhouse, sours, things like that now. And we've been on our hop roller coaster for the last.
I know we need to do a show just of sours. We should just do we
will do the sour show.
A sour show. Yeah.
We should. If anybody has any good suggestions for sours, please send them our way if you could. That would be awesome. So yeah, so that was the Malestrom Brewing and stuff. I had one more I went to. I don't want to get into that just yet because I know you have
my list of.
You have a list of
my list
things.
of 10.
Your list of 10. It's like it sounds like the 7 pieces of 8. I have the list of 10.
Yeah, well, so when you said you were going, then I started like, okay, well, let me figure out what if I was going, where would I go? And don't necessarily like to do top 10 because especially with craft beer, it's hard to pick out who's better than who because it's all so different and it's all on different levels. So when I started looking at Seattle breweries, I went to 3 or 4 different sources. I made 3 or 4 different lists, kind of compiled the list, and then came up with a list of 10. And then out of that 10, I tried to pick out what I thought was their most popular beer by the number of ratings that they had. So most of this stuff is like 4.5 or higher on their ratings. And it had to be at least 10 ratings. It just wasn't one rating at 5.0 made the list. So everything is over 10 or rated over 10. So, and then what I did was when I sorted it, I just went through, I sorted it, the number of beers that each brewery offered. So the first one that I had was Ghost Fish Brewing. And all these are out of Seattle, so I'm not going to talk about where they're at or they're all in Seattle. They had 26 beers to offer. Their highest rated, which I thought, under the way that I was figuring out, was their Grapefruit IPA, coming in at 5.5. And from the notes that I found, I think it might even be gluten-free. I'm not sure. So the American IPA, known for citrusy hop punch, but we cranked up the juice on this one, brewed with grapefruit peel, mysterious new hop, codenamed Experimental Grapefruit. This IPA is serious citrus bomb. Lively and bright, immediately refreshing. You wish it would grow on trees. So that's, I know. I didn't get the growing on trees until like right now. Yeah. So it's Grapefruit IPA from Ghost Fish Brewing Company.
So Ghost Fish Brewing Company out of Seattle. I think
Have you been there?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is great. This is probably going to be my next list.
So they had 26. They had 26 beers to offer, and the Grapefruit IPA comes in at 5.5 APV.
Nice.
Next one, Pike Brewing Company.
Okay. Yep.
They have 53 beers to offer. Sorry, Thor's Reserve is getting me right now.
Oh yeah.
Pike 5X Stout. It's a export stout. It's kind of like Guinness, type of Guinness. So it comes in at 7.0.
What was the name of that one?
Pike, and it's 5X Stout. Or XXXXX Stout.
I can't remember when I was at Pike which one I had there. I had a few. It was early. We were there like 11 in the morning, and I had like 3 beers. And that
comes in at 7%.
That was 2 years ago.
So, and it says most of my ratings and stuff that I get was off Beer Advocate. It says that it's ranked pretty high, about 5,600.
Oh wow. Okay.
Next one I found was Standard Brewing. 55 beers to offer. I felt that their number one was their West Coast IPA, coming in at 7.2%. See if there's any notes on that one. Classic, award-winning, tropical, fruity, light-bodied IPA. Everything we want from a West Coast-styled IPA. Standard Brewing. Sea Pine comes in next. 59 beers to offer. And this, I think, is my favorite name out of all of them. It's called Rainbow Suspenders. It's an American IPA. American Imperial IPA, coming in at 8.7. Beautiful showcase for the mosaic hop and high-quality brewing for the matter. Tangerine mango, blueberry, salinity. Yeah, pleasant salinity. Okay, a beautiful showcase for a mosaic hop and high-quality brewing for that matter. Tangerine mango, blueberry, and a touch of something like a pleasant salinity. This IPA, double IPA, is delicious, complex, balanced, refreshing, and goes down far too easy. Sea Pine does some great stuff, and this one is one of their best.
So Sea Pine's the brewery, right?
Sea Pine is the brewery. Rainbow Suspenders is the name.
Very cool.
Next up, Stoop Brewing. They have 122 beers to offer.
Wow. Yeah, that's the one I wish I would have swung by, but we just
didn't have time.
Didn't do it. No.
Yeah, I know. Citrus IPA coming in at 5.9.
Next time, Stoop. Next time.
Yeah. We'd like to call this one Sunshine in a Glass or Sunshine in Your Belly because it won't stay in the glass long. Our citrus IPA is designed to be light and bright in both color and body. Your first sniff will elicit images of tropical fruit, citrus, thanks to a healthy dose of citrus hops. Enjoy a pint of this and you might just find yourself gazing skyward, pondering how in the heck sunshine made its way into your glass. Nicely put.
Do I have to wear suntan lotion? I'm just curious. I don't want to get any UV radiation while I drink this.
Yeah. So that's the citrus IPA from Stoop Brewing. Next up, Georgetown Brewing. Did you hit Georgetown up?
I did hit up Georgetown when I was there. That was, I remember this last year or 2 years ago.
Well, they have an imperial porter there that comes in at 11% called.
Ooh, I did not have that one.
18-pound porter. It's short-filled the kettle to brew this imperial version of our Georgetown porter. More roasty, more chocolatey, more APV, and more delicious, if that's even possible. Since then, the beer has been in first use, Heaven Hills bourbon barrels, quietly waiting to be released into the world. Take all that roasty chocolate goodness and bourbon and vanilla notes of barrel aging, and you'll have a winter sipper sure to please.
Nice.
So that's the Georgetown Brewing 18-pound porter. Next up, and I'm pretty sure you went here too, this place called Fremont Brewing. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they have a coffee cinnamon bee bomb, and their score on the world class is 100, and it is ranked 95th by Beer Advocate out of their top 250. This says it comes in at 13%. Fremont says it comes in at 14%, so we'll call it 14% APV.
I have 13.5.
Or 13.5. Exactly. I went out shopping the other day, and I actually found it, so
Nice.
It's in my fridge right now. I can't
Very
wait
good.
to taste it. This year's release of the Bee Bomb is aged in 12-year-old American oak bourbon barrels and is a blend of 9, 12, and 20-month-old barrel strengths winter ale. The special edition adds cold brew coffee and cinnamon bark to complement the bourbon oak, coca, and leather notes achieved from the Bee Bomb's extended barrel aging and barrel blending. Fremont Brewing, they had I don't know if I mentioned this or not. They had 161 different beers that they can brew up.
Yeah, it's a big place.
So it's an American strong ale coming in at 13.5, which we've now discovered that it's 13.5% on the ABV.
That's what we decided.
Next up is Reuben's Brews.
Okay, I did hear about Reuben's, and that's another place I was.
I found this I'm like Reuben's Brews. It just sounds like you just driving down the street and you go into somebody's garage and there's Reuben's Brews.
Yeah.
But they had 169 beers that they've worked on. So they've got a lot. So I was really surprised to see.
That was another one. Besides Stoop, Reuben's was the other one. Next time.
So the one that I found was a 10% Imperial IPA, and it's called Triple Crush. I'm not sure why they call it Triple Crush. I don't have too many notes on it because a lot of their stuff was a little bit hard to find for some reason, at least down here. So Reuben's Brews, Triple Crush American IPA coming in at 10. Next, and remember, these aren't in any order. They're just what I came up with, and I kind of ranked them from the number of beers offered. So Holy Mountain Brewing Company.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I remember seeing them on the
188 list. Beers that I guess at some points that they offer.
Right.
Midnight Stills is what I came up with their most popular. It's a blend, the blend incorporates stock of Imperial stocked aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels for 17 months and 12 months. The blend was then transferred into a stainless tank where it aged on top of toasty hazelnuts and cocoa nibs. So that's
I love when they write these descriptions, how you just it just melts in your mouth.
I know.
Cocoa nibs and hazelnuts.
So the Midnight Stills by
In love.
Yeah, by Holy Mountain Brewing Company, and that's 13. That comes in at 13%.
How do you think Robin from Batman would say that? Holy Mountain, Batman.
Yeah, holy mountain.
Holy Mountain, Batman. That's on cocoa nibs.
And then the last one I came up with was Cloudburst Brewing.
Cloudburst Brewing.
Cloudburst. They have 197.
Okay.
197 beers that they.
I gotta look this one up.
rotate.
I don't remember this one on the list anywhere.
And let me get to my notes. It's an American Imperial Stout, coming in at 9.1. And again, not too much notes on it. And it's called Darkenflox. Darkenfloxx.
Darkenflox.
Dachshund.
Darkenflox.
Somebody rated it 4.4. This is notes from the brewery. So, body is not quite, but almost black. Creamy, ashy tan head that is reminiscent of beers on nitro. Beautiful. Nose is decidedly sweet and decidedly nutty.
Right, then nutly.
Nutty. So it looks like it's kind of like a sweet, like a chocolate peanut butter type of.
What was the name of the brewery?
It's called Cloudburst Brewing.
Cloudburst Brewing. The last thing I think of was Darkenflox.
Like on Beer Advocate, when you click on Cloudburst, it doesn't even take you to like their website.
Oh wow! How many beers they have like available that they make?
197.
No kidding. It might be a small batch brewery then. They just did a lot.
Let's see what I can
I'll have
find.
to look them up for sure. Because there was like times where when we were there, we'd drive through like alleyways and back roads.
Okay.
And I'd drive by a brewery, didn't even know it was there. It was weird. I'm like, oh,
Okay,
there's
so
a brewery right there.
Here's their location. Since this is when we're talking about location, they're on Western Avenue in Seattle, Washington.
So they're interesting.
Tasting room hours is 2 to 10 most days, 12 to 10. Closed on Monday, Tuesdays.
Those are brew days, probably.
Yeah, and you might as well just leave the kid at home because it's 21 and plus there.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, present beers on tap. No, it's just being slow. So
yeah.
That's crazy. Cloudburst Brewing in off. So we got Gottfitz Brewing, Pike Brewing, Standard Brewing, Sea Pine, Stoop, Georgetown, Fremont, Rubens, and Holy Mountain, and Cloudburst Brewing. That's what I came up with if I was going to Seattle.
You know what? If you're going to Seattle, I think that's a good list. That I think what we can do with this list, and we can put it on atomicbeershow.com, like the wish list. And some of these might not be available because they could have been, something big at some point, or who knows. But that could be like a quick list of 10 beers that you can go check out while you're in Seattle. At least I think that might be my goal next time I go. Just try to do it. So thanks, Don, for that work, man.
That'll be cool.
Heck yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Might have to take another train trip up there.
Yeah.
Train trip was interesting when we went up there. It was just, it's long. I mean, be prepared to, sit for a while. We at least had a room to sleep in.
I must have ordered a train today. I took the son to breakfast, and little kids are fascinated by trains, and we eat in Ruby's Diner in Old Town Orange.
Oh yeah.
And the trains go by, so we got a window seat, and the train go by. He's excited, but some days there's not so many trains like through the week. So I had the idea that maybe we should take a trip, but the next train was for like another hour. So I was like, no, sorry, buddy, we're gonna go somewhere else. So we went to Stereo Brewing instead.
Yeah, my dad's a total train person, and when we were growing up, we used to go to the Santa Ana Depot, get on the train, go to San Diego, have breakfast, walk around for about an hour, and get on the train and come back.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's fun.
It was pretty great.
I have to
Good times. Start
playing and stuff like that. Well, I had one more brewery I went to, and there's going to be a beer share out of this too. That's not the beer. That's Don cleaning out his glass. But
Getting a sip of water.
This is a little bit of when I first thought of Atomic Beer Show, how I envisioned it. But of course I love things that grow organically. I love the show to become what it should be. The cool thing about this next brewery is that there's actually a site or landmark next to it that I got to visit, which is really cool. And you being a photographer, If you didn't know, Don is a photographer. He takes amazing pictures. You can check him out on Instagram as well. Is that these are things that I need Don to take pictures of because I'm really bad at it. So, anyway, I did go to Fremont Brewing in Fremont, Washington, or they call it Seattle Earth. So, Fremont Brewing, and I got a lot of information from their website because, it's just easier just to share that than for write my own stuff. But Fremont Brewing is born of our love for our home and history, as well as the desire to prove that beer made with the finest local ingredients, organic when possible, is not the wave of the future, but the doorway to beer's history. Starting a brewery in the midst of the Great Recession is clearly an act of passion. So come along and enjoy our passion, and because beer matters. That's their biggest slogan, is because beer matters.
Beer does matter.
So before I do get into the brewery section of that, and
okay,
I want to talk about this before we do our next beer share.
Okay,
is that right up the road from there is a giant sculpture of a troll. The troll under the bridge. This is really cool. So in 1989, the city asked the Fremont Arts Council to launch an art competition, and this is information from the I believe it's the Troll website, but it was all over the place. But they want to rehabilitate the area under the bridge, which there's a huge bridge that crosses over the top of Fremont. I don't know the area that well, but there's this big empty space that they want to rehabilitate. And it was becoming a dumping ground and haven for drug dealers and probably homeless and things like that. There's a big homeless problem in Seattle and all this stuff. But they wanted to rehabilitate this area. So later that year, a team led by sculptor Steve Badanace won the competition and was inspired by the folktale Billy Goat's Gruff. It is made from a rebar steel wire and 2 tons of messy ferroconcrete. It's 18 feet tall with a shiny metal eye, and it's crushing a Volkswagen Beetle in his left hand, which at the time, which was a time capsule for the Elvis memorabilia for a while until it was vandalized. So apparently, if you go to atomicbeershow.com, I did post a picture on there, and you'll see a little kid in there. That's my son, because we did go visit it and take some pictures. And normally the car isn't painted, but it's actually painted red. Somebody vandalized. Well, I don't know if it's vandalized or somebody did whatever, but they painted it red. But normally it's the same color as the troll.
Okay.
So, and you can climb all the way up on top of its head and all kinds of things. It's pretty crazy. There's not a whole lot of parking around there, and I guess during the summer days it's really packed. It's hard to get to. We didn't have a problem because it was kind of chilly that day. But being like this odd, awesome attraction, roadside attraction, if you will, that you just want to check off your list of things to go see. Super cool to see. People that live in the area there was like apartments all around it. Mm-hmm. They probably see that thing every day. Like, yeah, I live by the troll. Yeah, it's Seattle, man. It's the bad troll. But people that are out of town to come see it. It's cool. It's a free attraction. They do take donations, but it looks like somebody vandalized the donation box. Yeah, they need to get like online donations or something. But that was right above the street from Fremont Brewing, and it's really awesome to see. And that's kind of like the heart of the show that I want to do, is to find these crazy things next to the breweries. If I knew the brewer at the Fremont Brewing, I'd take them to the Troll, and let's talk about the Troll. But one thing that was interesting too, I did read, was it's actually copyrighted. You can't use the Troll for any monetary gain.
Oh wow!
So you can't like take pictures and sell it. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, there's an outdoor, I don't know what you would call it, outdoor museum out in Joshua Tree that's kind of like that too.
Yeah.
They take donations at the front, and it's basically, there's no one really watching anything, but I think they allow you to take pictures and stuff, but you can't use anything to
right
in that direction.
But it was cool. It was neat. It was neat to see that. So before we get into the Fremont Brewing, you ready for another beer share?
Yeah, beer share number 2.
Oh, you nailed it. Thanks for the note. I had that on record. All right, so beer share number 2, I actually brought back, well, hold on one second. So I brought back a Mod Pod IPA, which you actually find around here. It's an American IPA, 7.7% ABV. It's notes of tropical fruit, candied orange, tangerine, and an echo of malt sweetness. Mod Pod actually honors 3 pods of southern resident orca whales living full-time in the Puget Sound.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's why I thought it was pretty cool.
That's a nice color.
Yeah, the can, I like the can too because it's a lot of artwork. It's a red can that has the Fremont logo. Like all their cans are the same. The Fremont really big on top and the name of the beer on the bottom. It's kind of like a tribal-looking dolphin, like orca on it. Which kind of reminds me of the decor at the Ivers Salmon House, which is really close by, and they had a lot of. We actually ate there too. We just like Ivers clam chowder so much, and we're really sad that they're pulling it out of Costco because it was being sold at Costco. So, oh yeah, so this is the Mod Pod IPA. So another little note: Mod Pod IPA honors our 3 pods of southern resident orca whales living full time in the Puget Sound.
Yep, it's IPA.
The JK and L iPods, currently numbering 73 whales. Our whales are a treasure worthy of reflection and thought. In particular, we think of Granny, J2, who was the leader of the JK and L pods, and is considered to have been the oldest orca in the world when she died in 2016, after 107 years of gracing our waters.
Oh my gosh.
Granny was the matriarch of the southern resident community, and we brew Mod Pod IPA in her honor. Enjoy and observe. This is True Row Pale. It has white wheat, flaked wheat, rolled oats, rice hulls with Mosaic, Columbus, and Strata hops. This is 7% ABV with an IBU of 60. It's a hazy pale straw color. If you smell it, it should smell like pineapple, tangerine, a little bit grassy.
Yes.
It should have a flavor of ripe melon, juicy citrus, and pepper.
Sorry, I was like eating some Dots pretzels.
Oh, you cheated. You're going to throw your whole taste buds off. What's cool, interesting about this beer is that the fresh range is from 90 days from the packaged on date. It's only available between October 11th and December 31st. So this month's run, by the time I post this, it's probably going to be, if you can find it, grab it. So there's some other notable Fremont beers I just wanted to mention really quick. One of them, and this will tie into what you're talking about through your list too. So.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice IPA.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it. That's why I was trying to find that one. I was going to go for one of these I'll talk about in a second, but some of the ones I want to note. Universal Pale Ale is a good one. Interurban IPA. The Lush IPA is something you can definitely find around our area now. I actually had the Lush IPA on my flight on the Alaska Airlines flight. Dark Star, the Imperial Oatmeal Stout, was one I thought about bringing, but I was like, man, we're just doing too many stouts. I did have a version of Nitro on that when I was there, which was really good. Sky Kraken, which you can also find at a lot of stores around here now, so they're hazy IPA. They also have an Imperial lineup, the Sister, which is an Imperial IPA, Brother, which is an Imperial IPA, and a Imperial Winter Ale, which is a dark chocolate, fig, and winter spice, which is out right now. You can find it in the stores. And that is also availability is supposed to end on December 31st. So I'm pretty sure people can, like the distributors and stores can get it until December 31st. But after that, once they sell out of the stores, you can't get it anymore.
Okay.
Because I have seen the winter ale around, but I'm like, another dark beer. I wanted to change it up a little bit.
Yeah,
so a little lighter. Now, here we go. So we have our Barrel Age series as well. It's something to look at. Fremont's really good at their Barrel Age series. You've had some. I've had some. This includes the B-Bomb, Rusty Nail, and Bourbon Beige Ale, Dark Star, just to name a few. So, but yeah, you've had the B-Bomb. Some versions.
Yeah.
Also, they have the seasonals, which includes what we had, the Mod Pod IPA Fields Ferment, which is a fresh hot pale ale. I actually been drinking I have some of that in my fridge right now. And then
I saw all your posts.
Yeah.
Is he going to leave anything for the show, or is he just going to drink himself home?
That stuff was set in the corner. And then I had the stuff I was bringing to you for a gift. And then I had the Head Full of Dynamite Hazy IPA, which is just an absolute juice bomb. It's so delicious.
Yeah, you can get that locally. I saw it the other day when we were shopping.
Yeah, but I did buy some when I was there, and those didn't make it back.
Oh, okay.
Those didn't even make it out of Seattle.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happened
You
there.
have to start taking a second suitcase so you can
just
distribute evenly.
Well, the thing is, I did have an extra suitcase. I was just worried. I don't know.
What are you worrying about? Like they're going to break open, or
yeah,
going to get busted for importing? And
I'm not worried about that. I'm just more worried about a broken can and a bottle of beer, and then I don't know.
That's what the dirty chonies are for. You just roll them up in the dirty chonies and
they
pack
get-
them between
They ain't
the
gonna
jeans.
touch those poop bombs. Well, unless you got after a lot of drinking, it might happen. But anyway, I want to thank you all for taking the trip through Seattle with me.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, thanks for the list of the now wish list, and I think that's a good article. I think we're going to post.
So it must have been a pretty exciting trip because, I mean, we got started going about 100 miles an hour on that. We didn't even get a chance to talk about our Christmases at all.
Oh yeah.
So how was yours?
This trip actually was before Christmas, so Christmas should be more fresh in my mind than the trip and all the beer I drank. I had a good Christmas, man. It was great. It was my son's year where he actually got to really experience it and know what was going on. So that was really awesome. Other
That's
than
nice.
The business I'm in, I have to work, but I did make a lot of time for family, and that was really cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. How about you?
It was good. Mom and brother came out from Florida, so it was, picked them up Saturday, and then we rushed off to go up to Santa Barbara, San Ynez, do some wine tasting.
Nice.
I must have brought back like 10 bottles of wine, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
At least you drove. You didn't fly, right?
No, it's only a 2.5 hour drive from here. So, yeah, that was good. We the hotel was right next to Firestone Walker, so that was a plus. Had a nice 805 from the mothership.
Yeah.
Nice dinner there, and then the next day we were just kind of pooped from the wine tasting that we did the day before, and we just decided that we would head home and we'd go to one of my favorite places to eat is at Norton's Deli Pastrami in Santa Barbara. They do a nice. It's called Mom's PLT. It's pastrami, lettuce, and tomato. They do it on sourdough. They
nice.
cook the pastrami on the flat top.
Man, we talk a lot about food. It makes me so hungry.
I know.
That sounds so good right now.
And so it was good. And then Christmas Eve was at the in-laws' house. Pasta dinner, and then Wednesday night was here. We had some beautiful 10-ounce filet mignons from Snake River Farms.
Oh yeah.
Cooked them on the Traeger.
Oh yeah.
For 45 minutes. Everybody's like, "You're going to cook filet mignon for 45 minutes?" Yeah, but you're cooking it on the Traeger. You're cooking it at like 225 till it gets for about a half hour, 45 minutes. So the internal temp is about 115. Take it off, crank the temp up, and then sear it for about 5 and 5, and they came off. They just came off beautiful. It was really good.
That sounds great.
Brother made twice baked potatoes. Wife made some like Brussels sprouts and stuff. So it was good. Sent them home. What's today? Sunday.
Yeah.
Sent that home yesterday. So they're back in Florida, and we're just trying to pick up the pieces around here, get cleaned up. My swim kids treated me real well this year, which was great. I got some peanut butter balls. Uh-oh, did I not bring them out here?
No, I don't think you did.
Oh, shoot. I hope the dogs didn't get them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so we had swim kids took care of me pretty well. It doesn't swim in my group necessarily, but one of our swimmers is autistic, and I think one of his ways that I don't want to say deal with his issues, but the way that he relaxes, I guess, is he's a baker. So he made peanut butter balls for us. And that was brought to us on Christmas, or right after Christmas.
So he makes them for the whole team?
I don't know if he made them for the whole team. He might have
just
just
the
made them
coaches?
just for the coaches.
Oh, that's still really nice.
Yeah,
that's really sweet.
So as soon as we finish these beers, we'll dive into these
peanut butter balls.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm thinking of a Saturday Night Live skit right now.
I know. Oh, there's 2 left. Look at that.
Oh wow, are they sweaty?
No, they're not sweaty.
Okay.
There's a cookie in here too, but
nice.
I was just all about the peanut butter balls.
Well, before I dive into these peanut butter balls, Don, I got to let everybody know that you can go to atomicbeershow.com to find all of our information and all. It's kind of like the hub of finding us on Instagram, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and Spotify. Yeah, and maybe more later on. But I'm just not. I need somebody to do all that for me.
Yeah, we need to find a tech person, really.
Yeah, no kidding. So we'll get the all the beer shares we did today. We'll get those online, and also if you listen to our quick one shot, you'd hear that we did get a new logo, and that's going to be posted soon. So, but we want to thank you all for listening to us,
God, it's so good.
Staying with us, and listening to the show. So we hope the wish list, you check it out. Maybe if you're in the Seattle area, you got a little checklist to go through. But yeah, Don's enjoying his peanut butter balls, and we're gonna sign off for tonight.
Oh my God, these are so good.
Sign off on the
Try one before we go off the air.
Okay.
Oh, tell me what you think.
Oh yeah,
They're pretty good.
oh man, they're crunchy too. Crunchy peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
I love crunchy peanut butter.
That's so good.
Oh, all right.
All right, drink good beer.
Drink good beer. Drink independent. No fizzy yellow water.